I'm April, your host of Teachable Moments with April podcast. If you're a new listener, welcome. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Remember, teachable moments are all around us. Happy listening. All right, good afternoon, Miss Mary. Miss Mary's reminding me that she doesn't have all day and all day. Okay, like the Burbs with Tom Hanks. Okay, so like I said, we already know, if you don't already listen, is that once I get Miss Mary, I like lock her in.
That's right.
To get as much as I can out of her before the next time, because she got stuff to do. And if I forgot, which I didn't, she will let me know I got stuff to do and I don't want to be sitting here all day talking on this thing. Okay, which is fine. I understand that. So we already talked about a previous movie. If you haven't listened to that interview, we're reviewing Cocaine Bear previously. Now we're going to review Wild Mountain Thyme, and it has Christopher Walken and Emily Blunt in it. Those are two well-known actors. The other actors did a phenomenal job, but I just can't remember what their names right now. Okay, Miss Mary found this movie on, what was it on? Do you remember? It was on Hulu? Hulu.
No. I found this movie I found the movie on Hulu.
Hulu, okay.
But I looked.
If you want to watch it.
Yeah, and I looked on YouTube after I was looking for Dog Mountain. I thought that there was something sinister about Dog Mountain, and it turned out to just tell me about Day Love Pass.
Okay.
And I didn't want to see no excerpt from that because Day Love Pass is a movie that I own because I was always curious about what happened to those young people.
Right.
So I had seen that in its entirety, so I kind of flipped and just started searching along the line. Mm-hmm. And Wild Mountain Thyme came up, and I said, and I seen a picture of Emily Blunt, which is one of my favorite actresses.
Oh yeah.
And I decided just to click on that and see. But they only would give me like trailers of it. They would not show me the movie, so I decided to use my expertise and go check the movie channels that I watch. Okay. And the first one I put in was Hulu.
Okay.
And lo and behold, they had the movie in its entirety, and the rest is history.
Okay. So what do you want, what were some of the things that you liked about this particular movie, aside from, Emily Blunt, which she's from Young Victoria. She's done a lot of movies, Emily Blunt, and she loves Emily Blunt in that particular portrayal of the Queen. So go ahead.
I refuse to watch any other movies about Young Victoria if it's about Victoria. If it's not Emily Blunt. Other than that, that's the only one. That's how I see Victoria as Emily Blunt. So you cannot move me away. They had other actresses and different things.
Even had a show.
I don't want to see that one.
Okay.
So I'm very particular about what I watch. But after that, I went and I found it on Hulu in its entirety, and I've been watching it ever since. I have a tendency, I don't know, is it because my grandfather was Irish or what? I have a thing about Irish movies that really interest me. And this was an Irish movie, and it was set in Ireland.
Right.
And with Emily Blunt playing Rosemary, I remember in my young days, she reminded me of me chasing this guy.
Oh, okay.
But he really didn't want me, but that's okay. I learned from that. Next time chasing go, they're going to be chasing me, because it sure ain't going to be me chasing them. And the way her determination was, she was going to get Anthony no matter what. And Christopher Walken was just so funny. I never knew that man was funny. The King of New York gave me a bad idea about his acting skill. But in this one, I can appreciate the man has talent. And the scenery was excellent. The music was so beautiful. It was after my own heart. And the struggles they went through, being that it was set on a farm and I was raised on a farm, I could relate to it.
Okay. All right. So how would you classify it? Was it like a romance or a romantic comedy? A little bit of both?
No, it was just a romance.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a romance. It was like walking me through, I guess.
So it struck a chord with you.
Yeah.
And you could relate to Rosemary's
yes,
determination.
And although she seemed very silly, but I guess when you're looking at someone else,
right,
they can seem silly. But you can't see yourself. But for some reason, when we older, I could see myself in Rosemary. And her determination, I don't believe in giving up on nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And Rosemary, no matter what
Anthony
did or how he act or whatever, she was determined that he was going to marry. She was going to marry him. He had pushed her down when she was a little girl because she was going to beat up Fiona because he liked the Fiona. And her dad had to have a heart-to-heart with her and tell her she was a swan, a beautiful white swan to get her out of her state. And it was a romance to me. It was something from the heart, the music, and they even gave background with the Anthony's parents and her parents and Cleary, the town gossip.
Oh yeah,
gossiper. So it will melt your heart if it's very beautifully made.
So I'm not Miss Mary. I know what I'm gonna say. Miss Mary's a hopeless romantic. I am not. It's definitely, to me, it is a romance, but it's also a romantic comedy because you have some very comedic, like she was saying, what was the guy that saw Anthony talking to the mule and practicing? And
his proposal.
Cleary. Okay.
Cleary minds everybody's business. We all have one in the neighborhood. We have Uncle Willie.
Okay.
And everyone has a Cleary in your neighborhood. And Cleary went and told everyone about Anthony. I don't know, was there something wrong with Anthony or not, but Rosemary didn't see anything wrong with Anthony.
He was perfect.
He was perfect.
And the thing about it, Miss Mary questioned me about what I thought about her character. Ever since she was a little girl, she just knew. She seemed like whoever the actress that played young Rosemary, her eyes, she didn't say anything necessarily, but you could see the love. Everything he did, no matter what, if it was off the wall, he was very eccentric ever since being a little kid. She was as well, and that's what I saw from it, that she herself was eccentric, and he was too, even more so than Rosemary. And she loved him. So she's like, she was a little girl, and for her to look with such love and adoration, and she wanted to beat up the other girl that was clearly taller than her, but Fiona didn't do anything to Rosemary. It was Anthony that, when they were kids, that pushed her.
Yeah, well, Anthony pushed her because he had this thing for Fiona, which Fiona had nothing for Anthony.
No.
Anthony had it for Fiona. Her. But Fiona, only thing he did was laughed. She laughed at Anthony for
like he was a clown,
sticking his nose up into this lily and had all this stuff on his nose. And Rosemary was up the tree, but she came down out of the tree to beat Fiona up for laughing at Anthony. Everything she had to do was to protect Anthony. When the dad tried to sell the farm out from under, she followed him around and gave him what for you doing this to Anthony, you know.
Right.
No matter, even when they laughed at, everyone's laughing at him by proposing to this donkey. Mm-hmm. She wasn't fazed by it. There was nothing wrong with Anthony. And my favorite part is when she told Christopher Walken, mm-hmm. which was his dad, mm-hmm. That she would wait. He asked her, was she in love with Anthony? She said, I'm in love with him and more. And I will wait for him forever. Mm. So he said, well, you just have to wait then, because he ain't not gonna marry. She told him that she would freeze her eggs. And he told her,
what did he say?
You can freeze your whole body. He still ain't gonna propose to you.
Right.
But she didn't believe that. Mm-hmm. What's all. And in the end, mm-hmm. he had lost the ring because his dad had given the ring 3 years ahead of time for him to give to Rosemary.
Right.
And he lost, and he bought him a metal detector, and he had been out there all in the rain and everything else trying to find his ring, but he still didn't know how he was going to propose to her. That's why he used the donkey
to practice.
Right. But then Cleary climbed the wall
and told everybody
that he was now engaged to a donkey.
So who was John Hamm, the guy that played was he supposed to be his cousin?
That was his cousin.
Oh, okay.
Well, John Hamm wanted Rosemary.
He did.
Yeah. And Anthony said that he could take her. But then she was offended because she thought he was selling off like an old cow. I mean, she didn't feel that way about John Hamm.
No.
But she did fly away to New York when he showed the new car. And she wanted to go to
see Swan Lake.
Right. And he took her. And then he kissed her, and she was very offended. And she went back home the next day, and she told Anthony about it. Mm-hmm. And he was upset because John Hamm kissed her. Yeah. You kissed him. I didn't kiss him. He kissed me. And it was on from then on. They had to find her. She wasn't going to let him out of the room. So John Hamm worked out pretty good. He found him a lady that followed him around on the flight, trying to go over there and start a problem for Rosemary and Anthony.
So would you suggest, what is it, you give it a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up, or what would you give? 2
thumbs up. It's a must. It lightened the heart. Mm-hmm. After I see so many things happen in the world that is on hate, envy, jealousy towards other people, and then to see these people, she still believed in love. So I would give it a 2 thumbs up and try and watch it.
Okay, so it's streaming on Hulu if you haven't seen it already. Okay. And I have to agree. I asked Miss Mary, even though I'm not a hopeless romantic, I am, if I had a choice between Lifetime movies, people make fun, kind of clown Lifetime movies in the Black community, but I'd say Hallmark. I love Hallmark because they're very inspirational. Like she said, it's very light and it gives you hope. And I would put it it's not a Hallmark Hall of Fame kind of movie. No. But I would actually put it with that. It is actually good. So even if you're not a hopeless romantic like Miss Mary, you're still going. I think you'll enjoy it.
And another thing, it gives you the idea of another culture. Right. Of people, how they live, how they survive, how they think about certain things. It's like a learning experience to me.
You can get, like you say, see the with the cinematography. They have traditional songs. There's one particular song that they sing throughout, which is synonymous with Anthony's mother, Aunt Mary, and I think it's probably a mainstay of Irish. You know, you have songs that are just with the land and with the people. So yeah, it's very beautiful, and I guess me and Miss Mary suggest that you see it if you haven't already.
Please.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day. For real this time.
Thank you.
You were just listening to Teachable Moments with April podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. We invite you to stay connected with us on our social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We also encourage you to join the Teachable Moments with April podcast family by becoming a paid subscriber. As always, be well and stay blessed. Until next time.